Is telepathy real? And how can understanding it help you to manifest more of what you do want into your life? It's pretty easy and super fascinating. Let's find out. Now, objectively, we understand telepathy pretty well. Through modern science, many different forms, things like entanglement and quantum physics, all of the ancient wisdoms and philosophies. And you might see this talked about as thought transmission, clairvoyance, telepathy, ESP, or even just a sixth sense. This is something natural that is always going on, that we all have the ability, we're actually naturally engaging with it. But what happens is we're really programmed to not even understand it, to think that it's not real, to think that we don't have this ability, or this is some weird fluke ability that only some people have, and they're usually weird people. And really, basically, most people end up becoming disbelieving of or even fearful of this natural ability that we all have. So to start with, how does understanding telepathy affect what you are manifesting or attracting into your life? Well, so many people go around all day long attracting this loop and pattern of reoccurring drama and trauma into their lives without really realizing how much of a role that they are playing in that. And things like gossiping and talking about other people and having negative thoughts about other people, judging, holding people as being wrong for whatever they believe or however they are, is really just a habit, but it's an easy habit to get into that we reinforce all day long with our conversations, with our interactions, with our thought patterns. And here's the thing, these highly emotionalized, juicy thoughts and ideas and conversations that we're having are ripe with information. They are broadcasting that frequency and vibrational information out into the field and correlating to the kinds of experiences that we're having, both with the individuals that we are thinking about and also in general. In order to change this and change the patterns, the loops, that are going on in your life, you don't have to go to a mystery school. You don't have to become initiate. You don't have to master quantum physics and entanglement. It's super easy because all you really have to start doing is looking at your own experiences. You see the truth for yourself. You're like, oh crap, this really is happening. And then you self-modify, you self-regulate. It's super easy. If you've ever read the book Synchronicity by Dr. Kirby Surprise, something that he says in there I have found very much to be true. It really resonates with me. And that's that the more that you notice, in this case, he was talking about synchronicities in your life, the more they show up. They're everywhere. It is a truth to you. It's no longer something you watch a video about or read a book about. You're like, oh, I've experienced this. I understand it firsthand. And it's the same way with understanding telepathy and how it correlates to the experiences that you're inviting into your life. I'm going to share two examples. One is with my very dear friend, and then another with my son. So both examples with people that I am bonded with. Now, the example with my friend, we really enjoyed experimenting with this. So we would set up experiments where he would send a thought and I would receive. And we did kind of different variations on this. We did it a lot because we just really had a lot of fun with it. And mostly what we did was I would write on a Post-it note what I felt I was receiving. And then when the time came for him to tell me what he was sending, he would tell me first, and then I'd already have the Post-it note. And that was kind of our way of keeping each other honest. And we had mixed results, I guess I'd say, with intentionally experimenting with this. And that's why I wanted to share it, because when you have all these expectations and your consciousness is not open to the information, you're trying really too hard. That's why letting go is such an amazing, beautiful thing, and why the example that I'm going to share really illustrates that. But nonetheless, we enjoyed it, and we did have some hit or miss kind of results, enough to keep us going, right? Like, oh, wow, we're getting somewhere with this. This is getting stronger. And we were just having an awful lot of fun with it. And then on one particular occasion, I was trying so hard to let go. I was like, I know that I'm getting in my own way here. I just want to let go. And so that in and of itself, like trying to let go, is kind of a dichotomy, right? And ultimately, I started to drift off to sleep. Like I was going into that different brainwave state. And then I got this whole entire very specific vision, and it was weird. It was not anything that I expected or that was on par with kind of other things we'd done or what I thought might be coming through. But I wrote it down because it was really clear. It was like watching a movie. And then when I saw him a couple days later, I was like, this is gonna sound crazy, but I wrote down what I think I felt like I got. And then he shared with me, oh, Well, I wanted to change things up, and so I imagined myself going to see you, and the whole thing is like I imagined myself getting on the highway and driving there and surprising you and showing up at your door. And I was like, holy crap, because on my note I had written that you were coming down the highway, the exact one he would have had to have come down in his visualization or to really come see me, and that it was really emotionalized, and like you showed up at my house and I was so happy to see you. So it was literally the exact same thing that he was sending that I was receiving. And like I said, when I kind of tried to let go but really let go, and things just kind of came together like that. So if you're experimenting, that's something important to keep in mind and not to be, I guess, discouraged. And also, my sons and I had experimented many times with a whole bunch of fun different ways. For example, one thing we did where one person would lay on the couch and the other two people would look at a picture on the internet. We had like a little iPad or something, and send the vibrations of what they're looking at. And then the person on the couch would write notes of what they felt they were getting. So for example, if we were looking at a yellow cartoon image of a monkey, I can't remember the name of that monkey, but with all the yellow, I'm sure you know. And the person laying on the couch was like, I don't know, I got an animal. I kept seeing the color yellow. There was kind of a fun vibe. So you could see how this was a really fun experiment. It wasn't spot on like, ooh, I see a yellow cartoon monkey, right? But everything really lined up. So we've done a lot of things like that, and then consequently we've had lots of experiences where we are really telepathically communicating all the time. In fact, my middle son, I would pretty much say that we could telepathically communicate rather than text message. That is how often and how frequent our communication is. And because I notice it and he notices it, and it's funny because he still says, it's so weird because I was just thinking that, or I just had that thought, or I literally thought that same thing and then you said it, or I thought, I hope mom makes this for dinner, and then you made it, all the time. So back to that Kirby surprise that he mentioned, Dr. Kirby Surprise, in his book, Synchronicity, the more you notice this, really, the stronger it gets. You are letting go, I think, of your disbelief of the vibrational blocks that are in your way, and just opening up and becoming more receptive, which makes it really enjoyable. And then you can start to see how it really starts to relate to your manifesting, because you understand, like, oh heck, if I'm gonna have these negative thoughts about this person or this situation, I'm starting to really understand from my own experience how that correlates to what shows up in my life. So I'm gonna self-regulate and not do that. And this is a much more natural way to understand our vibrations, manifesting, all of these things, and have fun with it. As you can see, this is one of my favorite things to explore in my life, to have fun with, to experiment with, and to talk about. So I have a lot more videos that you might want to watch right now.